Namaste everyone, this is Pooja. So in today's video, I'm going to talk about my experience as an internationally educated physiotherapist in New Jersey and New York. I went to New Jersey in 2016. I wanted to study, so I did my master's in exercise science from Brooklyn, and once I was done with my bachelor's, I decided that I'll do a master's, and then I went to Long Island University. And as an international student, I did face my fair share of challenges, and I had pretty decent experiences, but some were pretty weird, challenging and weird and whatever it is. So I'll be just talking about my experience there. I was in New Jersey, New York, in United States for like 3.5-4 years before we moved to Canada. So that's recently. I moved to Canada before a year. So that's my background. I had completed my bachelor's in physiotherapy, and I had just graduated in April 2016. We were done with the education and everything, and in August 2016, me and my husband decided that we'll go do our master's. So I was there as an international student. Now before that, we got married. So that was 2016 was a fun packed year for us. Now newly married, and I usually tell this dialogue to my husband that I still had mehndi on my hand when I came to New Jersey. So we were grateful enough that we had my husband had a family here, not close but cousins, so they were really great support, and it has been, family support was awesome. So we landed here. The first thing that shocked me was that I didn't really realize that I would be missing my parents so much. I'll be missing home so much. Everything was new. Everything smelled different, and the size of the squirrels in United States, even in Canada, if you see, they are really huge. So that was the first thing. Huge squirrels were the first thing that comes to my mind when I think about United States. So yeah, that's that. So yeah, we landed here. The country is different, of course. The language is different. Sometimes, even though people were speaking in English, and I do consider myself to be pretty competent, I was not able to understand what they were saying. So sometimes it would take a time for you to understand what the accent that people use. So it was understanding people was a little bit difficult, not too much, but a little bit difficult. That being said, for a couple of days we were with our family members, and then we decided there will be renting a place by ourselves. So those who are from India, if you want to rent a place, Sulekha is the place to go. So we went on Sulekha, and we went on I forgot what other places were there, but we found rentals. Finding rentals was a task because we didn't know that what we should be looking for, and because we were a couple, so people would either give the houses for renting. Either there is a all girls scenario going on or all boys scenario going on. So as a couple, we somehow found our own small little place, and it was good. So that's that. So far things were good. Family members are supporting us. We had financial support from home because we just landed. And then slowly and steadily we are usually what students usually do is they come at least 2 weeks or 3 weeks or sometimes a month ahead of time before their before their course is going to start, so that you just get a head start. Like you find a place to rent, what the city is, and how to travel and stuff like that. So we did that, and the very first experiences we had with subways were terrifying actually, because when you the thing is, if you have never been to a subway system, if you are in metropolitan cities like Mumbai or Delhi, might be you guys know more about it. I'm from Ahmedabad. We didn't really have subways back then, so it was crazy to figure out which direction the train is going. Even just knowing those simple things were hard. Heads up, it's always written on the boards up there where it is going, so that's how you know. We learned a lot about the subway systems. We learned about we had to take cards, so metro cards, path cards. These were the cards that you use for your transportation, so you have to add money into those cards and you tap and then you go, and it was all fancy initially. Slowly we started normalizing those things. I remember when we first went to do our laundry outside, we were just staring at the laundry machine because I had never seen such a huge laundry machine. We had those little small ones back home. Here they had like commercial size laundry machines and stuff like that. So those were the good parts, but there were struggles regarding so many students think that they'll get assistantship if they're doing masters, right? Getting assistantships or research tutoring jobs or on campus jobs is not so easy. If you're lucky, you might land a job in your first year of studies. Usually people get jobs in the second year. If you're really if you have like, you're consistent and you go on pestering your professors that I really need a job or things like that, might be you might land a job. Finding on-campus jobs is a difficult task. Okay, so as I said, finding on-campus jobs was a difficult task. I was not lucky enough. I didn't find any on-campus jobs, neither did Nishchay. So both of us were sort of just studying initially for a couple of weeks, and then we started the side hustle. So you're doing some cash jobs basically. We did that for for a decent amount of time. And the thing is, again, if you come to United States, the thing is that there's a lot of expense going on in terms of your tuition fees as such, and you multiply everything by 70. Okay, so even if you want to get a slice of pizza that costs just $1, you multiply it by 70. And then I was like, okay, so the thing is, everything was very expensive initially. I remember the first grocery that we did was for $50, and I was like, oh, it's 3,500 rupees, so yeah, and because we were getting financial support from my in-laws, it did feel I mean, they were helping, but you want to be independent, so we had our own struggles financially. Renting a place was not such a big hassle, but I had friends who had a really hard time finding a good place. Their places would either be too crammed up, meaning many people would be sharing the house that they were renting, like 7 to 8 people would be living in a 1.5 bedroom apartment, or sometimes the apartments won't be so clean. So you might have, like, specifically in Jersey City, if you guys are going there, be aware that there would be apartments wherein just ask if there are any bed bug issues or not, whether just go see if it is clean, hygienic, because there are issues there. So we had friends who had issues with bed bugs, and bed bugs are the terrible thing that you don't really want to think about. So we didn't face any issues, but we had friends who went through a lot of struggles with their landlords. The landlord would not return their deposit money, stuff like that happened. And so yeah, be careful when you're renting a place. Make sure that whatever deposit you are giving it to them, have everything written or make a lease, or at least have it in your emails so that you can have it as a proof when you have to, when your tenancy ends. So make sure that you're renting it the right way. So rent is an issue. Financial hardships are there. Other than that, we didn't have cars back then, so you'll have to. The thing was, we were living quite close to General Square. We were like 10 minutes from General Square. If people who are from Jersey know what General Square is, but General Square it's basically like a bus station and subway station. Okay, and we were like 10 minutes walking distance from that place. So we used to walk every morning. You'll walk 10 minutes, you reach there, and so from Jersey we will take PATH. So PATH is a train that connects Jersey City or New Jersey to New York. So first we would go take a train from Jersey City, and I'll reach World Trade Center. From World Trade Center, I was studying in Brooklyn, so I'll take an R train. So subways had different numbers, and they had, like, there is R train, J train, then there's train number 4, train number 6, things like that. Okay, if you don't need to worry about it, you'll find it out. So this was the whole thing, right? So transportation was not such a big issue. We were thankful that we were close to the commuting station, General Square. But still, when it snowed, the thing was, I had never walked like, I don't remember the last time I had walked in India for like 10 minutes just to reach somewhere, because you always have that scooty with you, so you never had to do anything by yourself, right? So even if you have to get groceries, you'll have to walk like 10-15 minutes, carry 2 or 3 heavy bags, come back home, and then you have to clean, you have to cook, and everything is just independent, right? You are doing everything independently. So there are a lot of struggles there, right? So handling the finances, handling the transportation, handling the studies. My master's was not so difficult. I did master's in exercise science. It was okay. It was not so difficult. Okay. My husband had masters in public administration, and it was a damn hard course. Okay. I mean, kudos to him. He worked really hard, and even then, both of us were. I was trying to support him as much as I could, and it was a hard course. So education wise also, if your course is really competitive, it becomes hard, right? And then we had this thing that we wanted to clear NPTE, right? So both of us were doing our side jobs, trying to save money so that we don't have to ask from our parents so much. And Nishir, he did crazy hours sometimes, because he gave me enough time so that I could stay home and study. I was studying and I was doing my masters. So I was studying for PCE, and I was studying for NPTE and doing my masters, while Nishir was studying, he was doing his masters, and he was also working so that he can support us, stuff like that. It was hard. I won't say it's an easy thing, and I'm really blessed that I had him with me, so that it was not a lonely process. But for people who are coming here all by themselves, make sure that you have a good circle of friends around you, because there would be days where you will be feeling lonely. You will want some sort of support. And we also had good neighbors. Okay, our neighbors were really helpful. Sometimes they'll say, if you want to buy because groceries you have to carry, right? So if you want to buy atta is like 10 kg atta. You can't just carry it and walk for 20 minutes. You can if you have to, but they'll be like, if you have to do you have to bring big stuff, will help you out. So they were really helpful. People were really helpful. Okay. And I think that also is because we were 22 when we came there, right? So I looked really young. Okay. I remember one day someone wanted to check the electricity meter, and they were like, "Are your parents home?" And I was like, "No." I was like, "No, I'm 22. I'm not a minor, because if you're a minor, they won't come inside the house, right?" So I was like, "I'm not a minor. I rent this place," and I was annoyed. Okay. So I looked really young, so that's why I think people were more helpful. But generally, we had a good experience. Whoever we met in New Jersey, and in New York, they were really good people. But the stories that we heard from our friends were terrifying, because they found weird landlords, or the place that they were working, they would not give them their pay on time, or they'll be overworked, or they had many issues going on. Thankfully everything went really smooth for us. But the thing is, when you are coming to a new place, the first thing that you have to think about is your finances. Second, where you are going to live, how you are going to travel. Third, if you are studying, how are you going to manage that? And if you have an aim, if you want to clear NPTE or PC, whatever it is, whatever license you are giving, you have to prepare for that. So it was a lot. Okay, there was a lot going on. I don't know if this makes sense to most of you or not. I just came from work. Okay, so I just wanted to share something, and that's why I wanted to make this video. So yeah, the thing is, there was a lot of hassle. Okay, and it all became worth it when I cleared NPTE, when I was a licensed physiotherapist there, because then I got a good job right away. And then because I was already done with 1 year of education, I got OPT, so I could work part-time. And even with that part-time money, because I was earning enough, the financial issues were gone. Okay, once we cleared the license, the financial issues were all done. But then comes the issue of immigration. So if you're coming to Canada on student visa, and if you're planning for immigration, it is okay. The country is okay with it. They are accepting immigrants. That is not the case with United States. They do not want any more immigrants, right? So even when you're going on student visa, they tell you, are you going to come? You have to mention that you're going to come back to your country, right? So immigration is always an issue. And that's when we thought that, should we should we live in a country, because when we were young, okay, and we thought we'll manage it, but once we were there, we figured, you know, we don't really want to go on H1B, we don't really want to we didn't want to wait, okay, we were not so we were in a rush. We wanted to get things done on our terms and not on someone else's terms, because they don't want immigrants. We were like, okay, we'll go to a country where we are wanted, and that's what we did. We immigrated to Canada. So the thing with the United States is, once you start earning, things look good, but then immigration hits you. Okay, now immigration is like, you have to work for your H1B. Okay, then you have to see if they will do your H1B. If they do it, would your H1B would be accepted or not? If it is accepted, is it accepted for 1 year or 3 years? What is the time duration that you're getting that H1B? Once that is done, would they apply for your green card or not? So that's the whole thing is an hassle, right? But you have to keep in mind that in United States, the pay scale is really high. I'm talking about pre-COVID scenario. From 2016 to 2020, I had really good experience. The pay scale was definitely higher than what it is in Canada. But the thing is, immigration was an issue back then, and immigration is still an issue. But pay wise, you can't beat the pay in New York or in any other state in United States. If you're comparing that with Canada, definitely you can't beat it. But the immigration system is pretty smooth in Canada, which is not the case in United States. Okay, so I have a lot to say, but I think this is enough. So yeah, that's my point of view. If you are planning to come to United States after doing your physiotherapy, and if you want to be here, there are certain issues that you are going to face, but then you are going to, if you clear the license exams, you're going to earn well. But think about immigration, think through it, and yeah, that's that. All the best. May you get success in whatever you aim to achieve, and I'll see you guys next video. Take care. Okay.